Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Faizan. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, there's a lot more content on their channel. This is Dr. Fahad and Dr. Ahad. They're really nice guys, and they have this podcast by the name of Two Ground Dentists on YouTube channel. I'll leave the description down below. Please do subscribe, and I want this at least a jump of 100 subscribers at least. Take care, and thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you. So, Faizan, what's going on?
I just walked my dog. It was precisely the time for me to walk him. Otherwise, we would have been doing this on the run.
Okay.
Usually, it's him walking me, but Aj, he was a good boy. So Aj, I walked him. It was nice.
That's good. So, what kind of dog do you have?
It's a Labrador. It's 7th-month-old now.
Okay.
So yeah, he's getting the hang of it now.
Okay.
And by now, I mean like just now.
Okay. What else is going on in your life after, the COVID thing? How is dentistry in Pakistan?
It's the new AD and BC before COVID and after COVID. I just started for 3 months since March. The clinic was closed down. The school was closed down. Most of the other stuff was also closed down. The gym was closed down. So we really had not much to do regarding dentistry. So, but I think this is still a phase of your life, and neither of us, actually all of us, we don't know how long we're here. So I don't want these 3 months or maybe even the next year until the vaccine comes out to be wasted part of my life. It's probably the same reason why I don't watch a lot of soap operas and TV series because when I started with this Ertugrul, the new rage, you've heard about it, right?
The Turkish show.
Yeah. It's actually fantastic. I just started watching it in I think November last year. I saw the first 2 episodes and then I completed by hook or crook the first season. I used to watch it after I come from the clinic and the gym when I'm done with the day around like 12 a.m. So I used to watch like 1 episode a day, and then after the one level, let's say 3 villain died, that was season 1. I was mentally at peace. I was actually waiting for him to die so I could turn off the TV and sleep in peace. As soon as that guy died, I opened up the app and I saw the total number of episodes. They were like close to 500. I'm like, this is not happening. This is not happening. You cannot have 500 hours of my life glued to the TV screen for nothing. There's no. Of course, people take out stuff to improve their lives from every TV show. But I don't want that to be from just one TV show and me glued to the screen. There's a lot more that I can do with 500 hours. I mean, come to think of it, I was reading an article which is from, let's say, I think 20 years ago, but it was true, and I think it's still true. It is debatable, but the guy said, I don't remember the name, he said, any skill whatsoever, if you give 10,000 hours to it, you will master it. And I was thinking, out of the 10,000 hours, I'm giving 500 hours to this Ertugrul. I am not going to be learning sword fighting, and I don't want to. I don't have a horse. So I think, so that's probably why I decided this the online education thing. But in Pakistan and a lot of other third world countries, we don't have the concept of suing people. I'm sure you're aware of that. You've been here. You know here. So I mean, it's risky here. It's safer there and in any other country where there are laws that could be followed, and you could have a result of you suing the other person, which would lead to the other person taking out the content. But for me to give up all of my online or all of my education and the way of teaching and the content online, which could be the bread butter for a lot of people, and for someone to just copy the whole thing and paste it, and I can't do anything about it. So we started with lectures that would mean that even if you copy it, you can't copy me. I am the content. right? I
Mhm.
mean, you could have Tucker and you could read it to your students. Good, I'm copying Tucker. Everybody copies everyone. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
for you to copy the exact content would be difficult, and that is why I chose to start classes late through my school. But we did so eventually.
Nice.
And also, there's also an unprofessional element to it. There's so much free stuff that you can give before people can start taking you for granted. Yeah.
Mhm.
By that, I also mean that there is a little bit of also unprofessionalism, because
Right.
what we do here, there's no closed groups. Zoom is a good app, that we're the one that we're using right now.
Yeah.
So we can have a quality time with 4 people, 2 people, even 3 people right now, who would have some meaningful conversation and actually benefit each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Instead of having an online session where 1,000 people could attend and half of them are asking for makeup tips and the other half are just there to troll you,
Yeah.
that I
Correct.
don't think it's good for that. Also gets to you. I mean, it does get to you. I mean, I'm sure you will go leaps and bounds in social media, because whatever you're doing here is like really positive, and that positivity actually actually a good element to doing positive stuff. I've learned it the hard way. With negative stuff, I mean, it does go viral. Yeah,
Mhm.
it goes viral really fast. I mean, if all of us could take off our t-shirts right now and start dancing, we will be viral. Yeah. But utne hi jaldi it does fade away. People forget stuff. But if it's
Right.
positivity, it will take you 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to get the message across. But
That's
then that stays.
That's good motivation for us, right?
it is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and I
Because
could
I mean,
relate
I
to it
understand.
because yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Please go ahead.
No, because I was just talking about the CEs and the value of it. Because as a dentist, you have to pay like $1,000 or more than that just to attend a course, and then you value it. And then when you see something similar, like similar content on the internet for free, then you realize it that the content which is worth so much is available to everyone, but people are not realizing it. People don't appreciate it what they have. So,
Exactly, exactly. And
mhm.
also the fact that, of course, we're not that rich of a country, but people here need to realize that education here still is free. It's like really, really almost for free.
Mhm.
Every course, if it's clinical, will cost you at least, if it's a quality course, will cost you about at least 8 to 1,000 or 1,200 bucks per day, anywhere.
Yeah.
And over here, the entire course is for like $500, and
Mhm.
Mhm.
people still think that that's really, really expensive until they actually take a course when they go abroad.
Abroad, yeah,
Mhm.
you're right.
So, Faizan, people in Pakistan, obviously, everybody knows you. But just give a little brief background of what you're doing, what organizations you're in, and then we'll take step by step forward from there. Okay?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. So I was born. No, I'm not going that far. I did my bachelor's in dentistry from Fatma Jinnah. I was Fahad's junior. And then, like everyone, I was a sheep. I wanted to just go to States and make money. And that's just, let's be honest. At that stage, everybody wants to just earn something, get out of the pocket money zone. So that was me too. And I decided to go to States. I took the national board exams. I cleared them. And then after part one, I came back. And then I think I did my house job. And during house job, I was preparing for part two. But after part one, I decided not to move to States and stay in Pakistan. And then, I burned all my boats to stay here. But I told my parents that since I've already given part one, I'm already in the boat, I will still study for and clear part two, but I won't go there. I didn't tell them the reason. Of course, they supported me in whatever I did. But the reason was that I took part one and I moved and I was in States. I was studying in Lafayette with my uncle. He's a cardiologist. And then, Facebook and Instagram has most of the people posting about burgers or either their exes, and that's what Facebook is. I mean, you always write
Yeah.
something that's meant for someone else. You don't never go and tell them directly. Uh, so I read a quote by, I don't know, someone shared it. I was just scrolling down and then I saw a quote that said, when you're growing up, you forget to realize a really important fact, and that's that your parents are also growing up. And I'm
Mhm.
like, this is what I had to do right now. Now, not the best time, right? This could have been like 6 months earlier, but yeah, okay. And that hit me hard because for us, I mean, I would have to block this video, by the way, later so that my parents don't see it. But I mean, all of us, I wish longevity and health for parents of everyone, regardless of I know them or not. But realistically speaking, we're in our 30s now. Our parents should be in about 60s, late 60s. And optimal health life should be about 80s. And that's saying something. Yeah. That gives you another 2 decades of really good health and quality time to be spent with your family. After
Mhm.
that, they become a little dependent and they become a little weak.
Yeah.
They could be better. Some people could be really better and some people not. But I'm just talking about averages. And for me to leave for at least 10 years, because it takes a decade when you leave Pakistan or India or wherever you are, it will take a decade for you to start, saving anything after moving from here, because you have to repeat
Mhm.
the DDS and then you don't get into DDS, and after you get out of DDS, you have a huge loan on your head. And
Mhm.
from this side of the world, the Eastern culture dictates that we have to get rid of any damn loan that we have yesterday, not even
Mhm.
tomorrow. Yeah, and for the Western Hemisphere, it's a part of life. I mean, you could mortgage your whole life, and that'd be okay.
Mhm.
Even your kids could be paying off loans, your
Mhm.
loans, and that'd still be
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
So it will take at least a decade for you to become someone, yeah, before you decide to risk all of it again and then come back and earn the
Mhm.
same $200 salary that you were supposed to make 10 years ago, because
Right.
you've done really nothing else. According to the rules of the council, you've just done PDS all over again, just a
Yeah.
simple graduate
Mhm.
again.
Hmm.
So, of course, you learn a lot more there, but by book, you're at the same level. And I think that is also where faith played a role. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, yes, we're Muslims, but whatever religion you're from, you take it for granted. You do most of the stuff because you're told to do, and because you wouldn't have it any other way. Everyone else does the same thing, and you have to do it as well. Yeah, there's no option for you. You have to do it.
Right.
Yeah, when you grow up, you realize the benefits of it. But there only I that is what I believe, two situations where religion or any other faith really comes into play, and that is when someone dies
Mhm.
and you need closure, and you go like, okay, I will meet them again. Yeah, that is your closure. Yeah? Maybe they're in a better
Right.
place. No. And two, when you're really really stuck. Yeah.
Mhm.
So then I read another, because of course I was thinking, and then how is this going to be possible? I mean, I see my seniors, they're still struggling. I see my HODs, they're still struggling.
Hmm.
How is this going to play out? Of course, you're passionate about it, but how is this going to play out? And then I read another thing, and that was like the fill in the blanks, and that was whatever you have. I can't translate it directly. Whatever you are owed, you will get. जितना लिखा
Mhm.
हुआ है आपको
Mhm.
वो आपको मिल जाएगा. So you might
Yes.
be poor your whole life, but before
Yeah.
dying you'll hit the lottery and you will get your fair share of everything you were promised. Yeah. And then I'm like, what difference does it make if that's already written? What difference would it make if I struggle here or anywhere else? I just need to put in the amount of work required. Of course, it will be far more tougher over here, but then I'll be with my family. And I think earning $1 million, which you could by moving to Alaska for another 10 years, and there's no one there, uh, earning $1 million, having your wife and kids there, having a Lamborghini there, having a good life and safe life, but having without family is not
Mm.
my definition of happiness. So that actually was the whole theme. And to push that off the edge, the final push was the fact that I come from a military background. So patriotism is like ingrained and built and screwed into our brain. It's like, I mean, anything you say, we stand up. So those were the two big reasons that I decided that I would not be moving to States, and I would come back and do whatever the hell it took to make it here. And then I took part two, but then I never went back. Year had passed after my graduation, and then I decided to do some post graduation because, of course, just like me, everyone else on planet Earth tells you that BDS is just like you being born. You have to be
Mhm.
something after BDS, and that is what will define your success, and not BDS. I mean, you're just
Yeah.
worthless. So then I started to look for programs, and I then found out the Master of Implants program at Gotha University. So I applied there, and I went there. I took my exams, I cleared them, and then during that time, I also during my house job, I also realized there was a vacuum for career counseling, a vacuum for a lot of people not knowing what to do, and also the fact that there weren't any charity organizations in dentistry. There were a
Mhm.
lot of there are like billions of charities in Karachi or in Pakistan for everything except for dental. So I also created that under the PDC. It was the organization that I formed, Pakistan Dental Community, and then the foundation was the charity aspect of it. And then during a house job, because of course you're not earning money, and like I said, I my brain just keeps thinking, what next? I've had my
Mhm.
glass of water. Okay, what next? And then if I have another glass of water, what next?
Mhm.
So me and a couple of colleagues, my in of dental school, we decided to start making videos.
Mhm.
I was just playing around with this new camera, which had I think a half a megapixel of a camera, which was saying something. Yeah. So well, I just made some funny clips, and we made it in the prosthetic room, the prosthetic department, and then I showed it to my neighbor. If you've heard of him, Salman Parekh from Mansal
Yeah.
Studio.
Mansal. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he's like my neighbor here,
Oh,
like right
really?
behind. Yeah. So I showed it to him. We all laughed, and then he's like, you know what? And he was a rich guy, so he had a DSLR. I mean, he was the
Okay.
next level. So he said, why don't we shoot this with a DSLR? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And then without thinking of anything whatsoever, right? And then I was working part time with doing my house job at Dr. Samir Qureshi's clinic.
Mhm.
I asked him for permission, and then I decided why not do it at his clinic. I didn't
Yeah.
know he would agree to it because we were doing all sorts of stuff
Yeah, yeah,
which I
yeah.
don't want to get into.
Mhm.
And then he agreed to it. We shot that video there. It took off. It took off like really well because there weren't like anyone there in on YouTube making videos online. I mean, there was literally no one.
Yeah.
Zaid Ali, he started with us, and everyone started with us. Basically, there were 2-3 people. So we made that online studio. We called it Third Molar Studio because there were 3 people: me, Usman, and Adil. That is
Mhm.
why it was called Third Molar Studio. And I did my masters, and then I came back, and then when I was there, I decided that this is something that's not taught there, and even if it is taught there, it's not taught like a curriculum based stuff. I mean, we're doing it like a trial and error stuff. I mean, if we do a patient, if there's a new treatment that comes into town and we see it on YouTube and we do it on our patients, and if the patient survives, we're the hero, and the patient
Mhm.
dies, time aa gaya tha. He was about to die. We
Yeah.
just pushed him over the edge. Uska to time he was bound to die at this time of the
So
year.
you
So
did implantology masters, right? In
I did.
Germany?
I did.
Okay,
Yes.
and this
Germany.
is what when you came back, this is what you were teaching, prosthodontics and
Yes,
implants?
yeah. When I came back, I was already teaching surgery at Bahari Dental College, but then I made an institute for implants only, Vanguard School
Okay.
of Implantology.
Okay.
So which had all my professors from University of Frankfurt agreeing to the concept of teaching everyone in my school almost free of cost. And then I also had a lot of local speakers here as well who were on board. So they were also teaching. It's the 10th batch now. And then after a few years, because whatever I do, I want it to be self-sustaining. There's no point of creating so many projects if none of them work and they fizzle out the next year. So after 4 years, we also launched the aesthetics school because we're still well into amalgam, which is almost obsolete in clinical practice. And because of that, we also don't know how to aesthetically make your
Mhm.
fillings better and
Mm-hmm.
other
Yeah.
stuff better. So whatever that was missing in the dental curriculum, I decided to address that from my school, and that's when I also started my own clinics, and that's that. Basically, I was just teaching and working and teaching and working at least 18 to 19 hours a day, every day for the past 7, 8 years, including Sundays.
That's good.
Nice.
But I'm listening to all this, and it's
Yeah.
very inspiring. It's not easy. It's not possible for a lot of people. What was the thought process behind it? Like, I know that you were a young graduate. I know a lot of people in Pakistan who graduated with us.
Yeah.
Um, how did you think of making a school? Like, what was your inspiration?
Okay. So the way I think of everything is rule number one. I myself, I'm not saying about anyone else. I don't want to have a sense of entitlement. I don't want that. I mean, a lot of people, maybe I was the same back then. I already have two legs that are working. I have a brain that's working. I have a hand that's working. I have a face that is decent. What more do you want from life? I mean, there more. A lot of people don't have these. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and also the fact that I don't deserve what I have been gifted with. What have I ever done to deserve a place where I could sit in air conditioning and to go and spend a lot of money for post graduation to decide not to make a lot of money in States and stay here?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just require will. There should also be a background story to it. The background is I've been blessed more than what I should be blessed with, and I just want to give back. And maybe that is also why I made the PDC, the Pakistan Dental community that I made, was the fact that students shouldn't be misguided. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
the people who can't afford dental treatment should get the dental treatment, or at least the checkups, or at least not even if not the checkups, the direction where to go. And then when I decided to do the masters, it wasn't an easy process because every single person who I met told me otherwise. They told me not to go for it. Everyone said, why are you doing masters in a subject which everyone has been doing in their clinical practice for the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years? I mean, we don't even need to be a doctor to replace implants. You get my
Mhm.
point, right? But
Yeah.
everyone is placing implants. Why do you want to do a master's in that subject? It's a failed thing. I
Mhm.
always think of the opposite way. The other picture is that if no one's in it, then that's why I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
That's how you beat the curve. If
Right.
you're just like everyone else and you're in the ground with everyone else, you're never gonna beat the curve.
Mhm.
So of course, if you're the first person or one of the first persons who's doing that, you're in an empty ground. You yourself have no help whatsoever. You have to dig the basement. You have to do every single thing possible and then create that structure yourself. So it's much, much more harder, but it's much, much more rewarding. And then when
Right.
you've got there, what is your legacy? I know it sounds really far fetched, but that is how I think. Like I said earlier, you never know how long you're gonna last.
Mhm.
So whatever I do, it has to be bigger than you. So if I succeeded through this process of learning implants and now I can place it,
Mm-hmm.
everyone else should do the same as well. I'm not going to hijack your patients. You're in Canada. I'm not going to hijack his patients. But if I can give you some knowledge that I acquired because I was blessed and point in the right direction well before you, it's only natural for me to help you to get to that place. And that's why I created the school.
let's break down now your experiences. The first thing, let's talk about your decision to stay in Pakistan. Okay. Um, and you said that obviously your values and your uh, wants were that you wanted to stay close to your parents, right?
Yeah.
That's a great thing. The other thing you said is that obviously when you're coming to another country or US, for example, you have more chances to succeed in the career than when you are coming to Pakistan, right? But
Mhm.
the way I see is that it's kind of like it's not a very generalized thing, right? Like for Ahad and me, for example, like when we took this decision to pursue this path, obviously our goal was not solely to make more money. Okay. Our goal was to be secure, to be financially secure. And in our
Mhm.
situation, at least in my situation, I didn't feel that security when I was in Pakistan or when I was in Saudi Arabia, where I was born and raised. Uh, and that is why I knew I had to kind of migrate to another country and make myself financially secure, in which case I can provide better support for my family in the future, right? For people who are there in Pakistan and who want to stay in Pakistan, and you and I both know that not everybody has all sorts of support, right? uh,
Agreed.
like maybe my family could offer me to buy a clinic and open a clinic or provide me some financial support. But if someone doesn't have it, right, so that it becomes more clear for people, and it's not like a generalized thing. What do you
Agreed.
think people should do in that situation? What is there for them in Pakistan? I know you shouldn't be entitled, but what is there for them in Pakistan so that
Good
people know
question.
about it?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. Let's take it step by step. Number one, when people ask me how to move to states and should you move to states after your PDS to do the to follow the DDS route or just to practice in states to move to states, I ask them one question. That's my first question. If you don't want to stay in Pakistan, states is still one of the best options there is. Period.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you ask them, okay, yeah, we're not as financially stable, and we, I don't mean that individual. By we, I mean their whole family would like to have a financial uplift, and
Yeah.
for that, one of them has to go, and one of them
Mhm.
has to sacrifice and miss living with their parents, has to go the hard way, which is to leave everything, go there, get a big loan, study hard. It's not easy. Study alone, it's not easy. Spend
Yeah.
time alone, make new friends. We take that very lightly. Make new friends, this is very, very difficult because
Mhm.
of course I might have 50,000 followers on Facebook. I have three or two friends. That's it. I'm just still deciding on the other one because he owes me my USB. When he gives me that, it will be free. Uh, so it's pretty difficult. And if their conditions are not stable here, for
Mm.
whatever reason, yeah, there are a lot of reasons. It is well worth for you to move to states or any other
Mhm.
place where there would be more stability. And by making money, I don't mean just making money for the sake of becoming rich. Uh, the more money you make or the more educated you get, you realize there's a mental cap. Stability is the key word. You want
Yeah.
stability for your family, for your
Mhm.
family's education, financial stability for your health. You don't want flashy news vacations on Hawaii. Nobody wants that. That's just the
Yeah.
teenager way of thinking. I would have a
Mhm.
good car, pretty girls. That is still a teenager way of thinking. As soon as you post graduation, you realize the only thing you need is stability and nothing
Mhm.
else. So of course, if you can't make it here, and by make it, I mean you have to. Every individual has to see. I can't answer that for them. For them, has to see where they're standing right now.
Yeah.
If they're on the low end of not making any money, I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but you will not be making money in Pakistan for the next 10 years through clinics, through
Yeah.
FCPS, through your
Mhm.
MDS, through your triple MSc in periodontics. You're not going to be making money. And by the time
Right.
you're making money, your parents are already have, in their
Mhm.
health. I
Right.
wish them best of health, but because you have to see, optimism is good. There also should be a reality check. The reality check
Exactly.
is that you
Yeah.
need a decade after graduation to be considered someone. Yeah.
Hmm.
And by success, you need two things. Success is happiness, number one. That is for me now.
Yeah.
Success when you're a teenager is purely money. You don't really care about any independency or independency. Your dad is already paying you pocket money. Whatever else you earn by selling T-shirts at your annual dinner to your own colleagues is for you to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is one of the factors. So if yeah, it's difficult for you here, it will be difficult for you for the next 10 years. For me, it wasn't. I'm still stable. So I had the option, I had the freedom to be not earning even a single penny.
Right.
And
Yeah.
my parents will still provide for me for the next
Hmm.
few years. Yeah.
Hmm.
Not a
Yeah.
lot of
That.
people want that, and not a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
And that's a really big possibility and reality that everybody has to take into account, because most of the people that I met, even my classmates, not most, like a lot of them, they had to become the sole providers of the house. When you were getting into dentistry, somebody must or should have guided you that it is going to be a long process. You will not be minting money, or there will not be any stability the day after your graduation.
Right.
So you're relaxed when you graduated. You're
Hmm.
not in a hurry. You know that this will take time.
Hmm.
And two, you should know how to go about it, which I think is our job as seniors, to tell them what to do and what not to do. If you want to stay in Pakistan and make it big, this is the road you follow. This is the average number of years it will take, and this is the number of years it took me to get to this place. And then now you have to decide, okay, so am I going to stay in Pakistan or am I going to States? So everyone has to evaluate according to their own circumstances, but with help from us.
Right.
That's
And I think you're doing a good job with your channel as well, Dentist with a Camera. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to his channel. He just hit 10,000 subscribers, so congratulations for that.
yeah.
And he's doing a great job. But Faizan, now let's say someone is in your situation, right? You are a young graduate, you have some support from your family. Now, what are your challenges? Like, it is difficult being in Pakistan and trying to achieve so many things in so little time, like you did, mashallah. What were your struggles? How did you navigate with the so-called big guns in the industry and make your own name in such a short time? How did you do that? Just if you can explain us.
Okay, so the way I think about it is that number one, I couldn't care less about people. I never do. I mean, if you live your life according to other people's principles, you're dead already. I mean, you're stuck. You're like impotent. There's nothing that you can do. Of course, there are about 7.5 billion population of the world. That doesn't mean you can't have a baby.
Hmm.
It's your life, yeah. Focus on what you want to do. Forget about people doing the same thing, because I tell that to my students who are graduates, that if you want to make it here in Pakistan or anywhere or in any profession, number one, keep this line in mind, which was told to me by a relative of mine. Uh, the first line of every profession is always empty. So you have to be the best of 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 the best to earn in any profession. Everybody's doing it. So now, which MBA is going to get the job? The one who is the best.
Right.
Which dentist is going to get the celebrity patients? Get out of social media. The world is not social media. That is not even the reflection of your life. That is
Hmm.
just a reflection of your fake life. I'm sorry, that is what it is. If go out and socialize and make connections, it is super powerful. It is super powerful for if you want to do something, yeah, and get to some place. It will require you, I don't know, maybe let's say X amount of effort, yeah. But if you know the person who's at the other end, that would automatically mean X minus 10 amount of effort.
So
So
you're saying
instead
like
of going,
networking is important.
networking is
Okay.
key. We
Okay.
miss out on that by we focus too much on studying and clinical stuff, that we forget to meet people and socialize who are our prospective patients. And the more people you meet, the more different kinds of people you meet, you evolve as someone who can communicate well with all kinds of people. And that actually is directly related to the patients
But
that you will bring
whenever
to your
so,
patient.
sorry, I'm gonna cut you. But so,
Then,
for example, when you had an idea that you wanted to open this school, who did you go to? Like, I know that you were friends with a lot of the so-called big guns and everything. What was their response? Were they positive? Did they discourage you? Like, what was your
despite despite everything, almost 95% of the people
mm-hmm.
supported the idea
Mm-hmm.
for two reasons. One, I knew them really well,
Mm-hmm.
and I never asked them for any favors.
Mm-hmm.
And also, maybe I'm just snowballing here. That when you're growing up and someone half your age or one third of your age comes in and tells you, "I'm going to change the world," you're like, "Yes, best of luck to you. Yeah, I will share your page on Facebook. Good
Yeah.
job." Because you feel at the back of your mind, this shit is not happening. I mean, the
Yeah.
chances of him making it is almost zero. So you
Yeah.
support them nonetheless. But my mentors, I would like to say Dr. Saqib, Dr. Sameer, Dr. Hassan Mehdi, Dr. Abu Bakr, all of the speakers who are still on the faculty list of Vanguard, who take regular sessions there, have been supporting it since day one.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Regardless of your interaction, anybody else's interaction, my interaction with my teachers has always been positive, and they're always I was their student, and then we became colleagues, and now we're workmates, and now we're
Yeah.
teachers, and we're teaching the same students. So it's like a give or take. So my interaction was positive, and it's always been positive. So I just cherish that, and maybe I would not be able to do whatever I did, even PDC, even this or anything else, had there not been helped by them. Because
These.
for the first
Yeah.
5 years after graduation, I did all my root canal patients at Dr. Abu Bakr's clinic, who was my head of department of endo.
Right.
I did all my extraction cases, all my private extraction cases at Dr. Hassan Mehdi's clinic, who was my head of department of surgery. I did all my filling cases with Dr. Saqib, who was the head department of operative. And I did almost all my prosthetic cases with Dr. Sameer Qureshi.
Mhm.
And that's why we
Yeah.
built a rapport, and thank you to them for making me who I am today, because the
Yeah.
teachers make you. That's what it is. The teachers make
Well,
you. You
these
have to
these
respect.
all these guys have supported me as well throughout, and these four are really nice mentors, to be honest. But Fazan, were you discouraged at some point? Did something
uh,
really was like, man, what the hell am I doing? I'm not gonna be successful.
that is I had a lot of disappointments, but I was never discouraged. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen, and I was prepared for it. But of course, when it happens to you, you're never fully prepared to take it in at that moment of time. Of
Mhm.
course, you're like, okay, I'll handle it when it comes. But when push comes to shove, it hurts. It's
Yeah.
disappointing. Yeah, I'll give you a small example. When I made that PDC, the organization, Pakistan Community, it had a lot of separate wings to it. Basically, it was doing almost everything that the official body should be doing in the first place and wasn't. So we were doing
Mhm.
almost precisely that,
Right.
but we weren't confronting them. Yeah, we weren't
Mhm.
confronting them. There were, I can't take names. There were at least three big guns who told me head on, you know what? One of them said, "I like your idea. Yeah, throw this idea away. Come join the official
Mhm.
body." And that's that. Okay, that's the one. The other one came and he's like, "You know what? We will form a youth wing of the official organization, and you can be the head of it. Do whatever the hell you're still doing right now, just under that banner." And another one told me, not directly, but told the other guy to like literally stop this guy from doing whatever he's doing. Yeah, yeah. I can't take names, but these are like big guns. You all know. But then,
Yeah.
usi waqt I decided I would not be joining any official organization ever. If they want my support, I'll give it to them. We did their membership drive. PDC had about like 3,000 members in 2013 or 14. Yeah, Do you know how many the official body had?
No. Really?
Zero. And dentistry has been in existence for the past 40 years or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they did their drive and membership drive. We helped them uh, because we had the reach. We had ambassadors in almost every college, every batch of every city. We had people there. So we
Yeah, I
connected them
followed
to the
that.
official
I
body.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And because what disadvantage do we get? If the official body is becoming stronger and more organized, it helps all of us. Let them be, just support them. So instead, and that actually serves in two ways. One, you don't go head on with them, yeah, because they will eat you alive. Yeah, number one. Number two, you keep doing whatever you're doing till the day you die and beyond. And there's no one meddling in your face because
Mhm.
you're not claiming to be the official body and you don't want to be. And
Mm.
you're supporting the actual organization. So it was a win-win situation. So instead
Good.
of going head on, I always wanted to, get around them.
Yeah,
That is
because
how
with
I
that
did it.
ye kal ka ladka mentality, you couldn't do anything, right?
आपको
Like,
छोड़ तो there was this inaugural after 4 years after PDC was formed. मैंने बताया था ना कि मैंने whatever I want to do it first and then make noise about it.
yeah.
I don't want to make noise on the first day because
Mm.
that is just like hollow. So after 3 years, we had conducted about like 65 different outreach programs in about all four provinces. Yeah. And now it's like 90. And we had done like 5, 6, 7 international trips. We took them and we had published like loads of researches and we helped people publish their own research in their own names, not my name, their own names. And then we held the inaugural ceremony of the PDC. And the chief guest called me one day, yeah, before the inauguration. I'm sorry, but I can't come.
Oh, wow.
I can't come. I'm like, excuse me, there are like 7 hours left to the event. It's like, I've been asked not to come.
Mm.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
it was very, very disappointing because the sponsorship was hinged on that individual
Mm.
coming to that place. Otherwise, why would you support a 22-year-old or 3-year-old? Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but then I informed them, they're like, sorry, if he's not coming, we're not paying.
Wow.
I had 115,000 rupees total in net savings. Yeah, in total. I spent it all. I booked the thing. The went smooth. I did not ask anyone any money. It was supremely disappointing. But after 1 hour after my disappointment, I thought to myself, why does the whole thing of 3 years of 3,000 people working hinge on one person not showing up? It's not about him. It's about what we've done and how many
Mm.
people we've reached out to and helped and the positive idea. And that's that. So let's just get the event done where it does not make a difference if that person comes in or not. Even if half the people don't come in, doesn't matter because it doesn't hinge on them. They were the cherry
Mhm.
on the top. The cake is still
Mm.
there. So
Right.
instead of crying about it, yes, disappointed, yes, discouraged after an hour,
Good.
no, that's not how you do it.
No, that's very graceful, Faizan. I think you dealt it in a very, very nice way. One last question we're going to ask, and we're going to wrap it up. Okay. So you're extreme high energy. Okay. You're highly motivated. You're driven. Where does this all come from? And what keeps you going?
Good question. Number one, the way I've been brought up, I
Mhm.
want to give back. Number two, the way I am, I just want to move on from one project to the next. And there's also this one sentence which I keep telling myself. I'll tell you that it's okay. I don't want anything average. Nothing in
Mhm.
life. I don't want it. I don't want average success. I don't want average, uh, reach. I don't want average impact. I don't want average patience. I don't want average nothing. Quality of life, nothing. Not just for me, for everyone around me. Yeah. So if I want to become a dentist, I want myself to be one of the best ones. And by that, I don't mean the person who has the most likes, because you've seen people who we've been, taught by, जो गोरे जिनको हम बोलते हैं, they have like 0 pages, they have zero ego and 0 likes on their pages, but they are supreme human beings with
Mhm.
wealth of information.
Right.
But they've not gotten there by lying, cheating, or deceiving, or pulling legs. They just focus attention, they just focus, persistent focus. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Persistent focus into anything you want to do until you get it done. But my brain usually doesn't stop when you get it done. And whenever I'm like done, I want to, okay, so what's next? So that's like an inbuilt fault
Right.
that I need to correct. But that I have also very recently, as of Feb 2020, uh, changed. Life is not a race. I know this is very cliche. I don't want to die, keep thinking at every stage of my life, once I've established or achieved something, what next? There's nothing next. Relax, take a day
Mhm.
off, spend time with family, go walk your dog, pray something extra, watch a movie, waste time. Wasting time is actually very necessary, instead of just working. For the past 10 years, I've been just working for one
Mhm.
job or the other. I've been just driven, very driven for everything that I want to do. But now, as of Feb, I just resigned from one of the jobs. I'm like, no,
But
no,
how would you be different if you had the same approach from the beginning?
I would not be anywhere close to where I am. Maybe, maybe,
Good one.
maybe that just comes with age and a baby.
Yeah,
Maybe
congratulations
Oh
on
that.
yeah,
that,
the
Faizan.
congratulations part told me.
Yeah, thank you very much. So
Yeah.
yes, if I want to wrap it up, looking back the 10 years, you have to be focused. You have to be driven. You have to be passionate. There has to be supreme amount of hard work from in the 20th in the second decade of your life. In the
Mhm.
third, 20 to 30 is what will decide how your life will be onwards. If you waste time a lot on Facebook, Netflix, Ertugrul, and girls and other stuff, I'm sorry, the chances of you cutting it are not so high. I
Yeah.
have not had a vacation for years. For years, I have not had it. But maybe that is why I could do whatever I did, because literally I was working for 18, 19 hours a day, every day for the past whole decade. But now that I realized I don't need to grind as much as I used to, because I've achieved most of the things that I have, that I
Mhm.
wanted to.
That's
Bring
true.
it down now. But for everyone else, I would say do the exact same thing. Be better than me. Don't be me. Just be better than me, because follow the guidelines that each of you have, derived by your experiences.
Mhm.
Copy them, tailor them to your own needs. But there is nothing that is going to come easy. If it comes easy, it's not worth it. So you have to put in the work. You have to, if you want to be the best, you have to give your best and more
Right.
consistently.
I really like this one, the one he says that
Yeah.
you have to tailor the whole idea and it should fit your goals, not everyone. So
Of
you can
course,
copy something,
everyone's
but you have to
different.
tailor
Yes,
it.
indeed,
A lot
indeed.
of people
We
don't
are different
understand that, and people just copy what they're doing. Their circumstances are different, their life is different, and that's when the failure comes in.
Mm.
Yeah,
Just to try
because
to be someone.
for you, success is different. Maybe
Yeah,
your family's there. Maybe you are happy with only 100,000. Maybe Fahad wants 500,000. But everyone is different.
Mhm.
So you have to. Everyone's different, but the journey has to be. You have to walk on stuff that everyone else has already walked on, but then you have to create your own breadcrumbs. You have to follow the
Right.
breadcrumbs, but then you have to leave breadcrumbs for everyone else to follow as well.
mhm,
Otherwise it's you being selfish.
yeah,
Yes, exactly. That's what we are trying to do through this podcast as well. Like to know different things and then to share it with people so that they can
Yeah,
follow, like a template. Anyway, in the
yeah,
end, Fazan, can you just say,
I don't really bring, if you've seen my videos, any politics or religious aspect to it. But
Mhm.
if you want to, this is exactly that. What you guys are doing is Satka Jariya. I know a lot of people will laugh at this, But even if there's one single person who watches your podcast and decides, you know what, maybe they're right, maybe I don't need to go to States, I just need to do this and stay here and be happy. Why should I need to? Maybe even if you help one person, you've done your job. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's more than
Yeah.
enough. Does not matter if you have 300 subscribers or 1 billion. If you help one person, you've done your
Yeah.
job.
That's what we talk about as well. That's, that is what gives us some happiness doing this.
This is a legacy,
Yeah.
bhai. This is a legacy, and you're doing really well at it.